Welcome to another edition of the Slightly More podcast. I am one of your hosts, Shane Patrick Cruz, along with
Chris Michael, the magician extraordinaire, legendary being, and all-inspiring stretch artist.
and not conceited whatsoever, confident. The difference.
He caught me mid-stretch, so I was trying to be entertaining to make up for it.
All right, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about the sales generation process, yes?
Yeah, well, the sales process.
Sales process,
Which part of that is lead generation?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about just a couple of tips on your website, the software that you use to gather leads,
Yeah.
and then follow back up with clients. A couple of tips on when you get the client on the phone before trying to book the show, and then how you use your lead gen software to follow up with the client. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start with why you need to have a certain system in place, right? What is the importance of having a system in place instead of just like hoping that someone calls you?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story to explain this, and also I feel like I didn't. This is serious right now. Shane got me drinking this mushroom coffee with lion's mane and chaga or something.
Yeah.
And I actually could not remember this guy's name until this moment, and
now
I'm thinking it works, even though I kind of wanted to believe it, but I didn't really think so.
It's called Four Sigmatic. FOURSYGMATIC. Four Sigmatic. They actually sell it at Walmart now.
They used to not. You used to only be able to get it online. And when I went to a conference in Florida, a lot of the speakers were promoting this, saying, "Hey, if you want to increase productivity," by the way, not selling it, just
they
promoting
don't pay
it.
us. Yeah.
Just coffee. So anyway.
Yeah, and get the one that's in the brown packets. You get 10 packets for $15. I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. Plus, figure you're spending $6 for a drink at Starbucks anyway. So whatever. Get the brown one that comes with lion's mane mushrooms and chaga mushrooms in it. Very good for brain health. Anyway, so complete side note.
The story I was going to tell is about this gentleman Dane at a really secretive club that I perform at in Baltimore. And there's these two super successful businessmen. One that I look up to a lot, David Yakub. He started SiteLink, and I hope maybe even I'll send this to him so he can listen to it to know that he really did affect my life. Just being able to look at how he has work-life balance and all this. I wanted to know the secret for running a successful business. And so I'm not going to go into David's advice. While I feel like it still really changed my life, it's not relevant to this. Dane talked about systems and process. So I said, what's the secret to running a successful business or just having a successful life? And he goes, listen, this goes for any area of your life. Systems and processes. And he didn't say a single word after that. And I had to ask him, I said, well, what does that mean? And he broke it down. And for me, in order to be able to run my business effectively, I need to have a system in place so that I know exactly where I'm going with each client. I used to not have any systems, and I would just handle client on a case-by-case basis, and man, did that take time, took a lot of mental energy, it was chaotic and disorganized. Now I've got a system that I go through, and not only can I do it, it's teachable now to now where my assistant can go through almost the entire process on her own. So I'm going to give you the system that I do to go from not having any clients to working through the sales process.
And I want to say before you get into that, the reason you guys might think out there, I'm only doing one show a month, I'm only doing 2 shows a month. Why do I need to buy into a lead gen system? Why do I need to have my website doing SEO and all of that? Like, I'm just not doing that much business. Well, you need to start now, because if you want to increase your business, then your workflow is going to increase,
right.
And you need to have a system and a process in order to efficiently get through that. You might as well start now so that you're used to it, so then when you're doing 20 shows a month or 30 shows a month, you'll already have it in place and you won't be learning it while you need to use it.
So I've chose my path. I'm going to sound a little nerdy here. When you create a character in an online game or a D&D run, you're going to pick your stats. I think in my business, I've chosen my stat to be entirely put into trust and connection. Those are the 2 things I focus the most on. So everything that I do, whether it be promoting SEO, which is search engine optimization, so I pop up high on Google, which I'll talk about in a second, to the videos that I put out to hopefully capture leads, they're all based in I want people to trust me and I want them to feel connected to me. So my system may be different than the way that you're interested in doing it. Maybe mine, I focus a lot on the quality of those two things, so it's not the most efficient, and I'm well aware of that. I get told by, for instance, Michael Eaton's one of the guys who's always getting on me about making it more efficient. Right now, I'm comfortable where I'm at.
He thinks you should automate it more, right?
Yeah, and I have a
Yeah.
lot of automation in place. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I can click a button and I will be emailing a client pretty consistently for the next 8 months and
Yeah.
having a full conversation with them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's automated, but there's things where I like to be. I'm a personality brand. Mine's based on the personality behind it. So if I'm not showing that, conveying it, I just feel like I'm not doing my job. So the first thing that you need to do is, before you can even get a sales process, you need to get leads. And I think we can do a whole nother episode just on lead generation, but I'll give you some of the quick tips on this. You have two streams of capturing leads and getting potential clients on your calendar. One is outbound, which is where you're picking up the phone and making calls. You're going to businesses. You're the one who's actually creating the need for you. You're the one who's saying, hey, here's a service I think you'd be interested in. Versus inbound, which is people who've decided they already want your service or want a service similar to yours, and they're reaching out to you to get more information. Those are the two paths you want to take. I'm now doing both of those, and they both have really great benefits and really great or really bad cons. One of the cons to inbound that I found is that, sure, they already know what they want.
Right.
The selling is lessened a little bit because they know they want a magician or a performer.
Yeah.
The problem is that they've already associated a value to it.
Yeah.
They already have
So you have to overcome that.
They've already figured out how to solve their problem. Oh, I don't want people to be as bored as they were last year. We had so many people leave early. So I guess we'll get entertainment. So that will fix that problem. And to them, that might be a $1,500 problem, but you want to charge $5,000. So if you're doing outbound, which that was inbound, if you want to do outbound, you can call a company and tell them, hey, I noticed that you guys are releasing a new product. What have you done to make sure that your attendees are both excited to attend, attentive to the product, and willing to sign up to order that product right then and there? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Yeah, I've got a few ideas. I would love to send them to you. Feel free to use any of them. But if you want more information, reach out to me. I'd love to see if maybe I or somebody I know can be of great help to you.
So we're jumping a little bit ahead into some phone scripting stuff, but
Anyway, so that's
yeah.
that's essentially what outbound is. Outbound is casting that net for people to become interested in you. I think I needed to talk about that a little bit because people have a misconception about what outbound is. I'm hoping to clear that air. So you've got these two streams that are creating potential dates in your calendar for bookings, but you got to figure out how to turn those into actual gigs. You go from leads to gigs.
Right.
So my process is like this. In order for me to get SEO, I focus a lot on inbound, probably more than I should have, because just until recently, everything was inbound for me.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time and effort figuring out how I'm going to find people I want them to be able to make the decision they want somebody and call me first. I don't want them to have talked to a bunch of people before they get to me, right? Part of that is because I'm so confident in my sales process that I know that I'll be able to create value around their problem, so much so that even if they were to talk to somebody else, the value they associate with solving that problem is higher. I'm getting a little sidetracked, but essentially for me, SEO is a big one. Search engine optimization. When somebody searches for corporate entertainment ideas, I want to be one of the first thing that pops up on the top. When they search for magicians for a Richmond festival, boom, I want to be the first thing on top, because people, believe it or not, and you do this, some people do things that they don't believe other people do. You're going to go and click that top link in Google. Google does the work for you. It sorts it by relevance for you.
Yeah.
So they'll go in and they'll click that, they'll see, and they're going to make a buying or at least a decision to take a next step within the first few seconds.
Yeah.
So your website at this point needs to be really well designed. You have to communicate what it is you do, who it's for, and what problem you solve right then and there. Because if they click on it and they think, oh, this was what I was looking for, that back button is the most looming, most tempting, most, what's the word I'm looking for when a woman is,
I have no idea.
when you're watching, Women in scantily clad clothes are doing what? Seduce. It's the most seducing button
Wow.
on the page. Okay, it's not your contact button. It's not your more info button. It's that back button. They're looking for a reason to not. So many people are trying to. People have this thing of they're not trying to look for the right thing. They're trying to eliminate options. That's the mindset most people are in when they're looking for entertainment or services. They're not looking for the perfect fit. They're looking to eliminate options.
Yeah.
So if yours has anything on your page that will eliminate you, a low quality photo, lack of videos, lack of information, a lack of understanding about their
A
problem.
lack of an easy way to get a hold of you.
Yeah. They will eliminate you quickly and say, good, what else can I eliminate? Okay?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. So your website needs to be polished. There's tons of people you can talk to about this, tons of resources. One of my favorite tips to give people on this is, what's a website that you really like going to that provides a service? It doesn't have to be a magic site or a performance site. Look at the flow of it. Take it to a web designer and say, hey, I like this flow. How can I incorporate my brand into this? See what they come up with, get a mock-up, and move forward. It's expensive, but nothing on this earth is going to make you more money than your website. Your website...
I disagree with that, but
You don't
that's
think-
part of it.
For me...
I think the connections you have between people and the value that you give them
Oh,
is more important.
I agree.
But
Okay.
as far as physical product,
Yeah, in terms
and
of
meaning
a
like
digital
product, yeah.
I mean, like, I spend tons of time. I've spent way more money creating these videos and content than I have on anything else. But you know what makes me more money? People who found my website.
yeah,
Okay?
you need a place to house it. It's called top of the fold marketing. So
Right.
when you pull up a website, literally what you see right there on the
Before
website
you have to scroll
before you
anywhere.
scroll down is what's most important. So you want to have pictures of you, you want to have footage of you, you want to have maybe a testimonial right there, you want to have your contact, an easy way to contact you come up. You want to have all that easy right there right away. You don't want to have a bunch of text. You don't want to have it basically empty.
Honestly, a header,
It'll kill you right away.
a really awesome photo, and one sentence per section
Yeah.
is enough. Like, I learned, and it was so hard for me because I loved writing content. And I thought, how is anybody going to know what I do and why I'm different if I can't tell them? I don't know what it is, but people are able to sniff out what I do differently and who I am based off my photos better than any text could have ever done.
Yeah.
The headers will put them in the right direction, but there's so much about this out there, so many resources. Please make sure your website's good. And if you're not looking into SEO, David Farr is an amazing resource on that. He's actually a magician who is amazing at running SEO, and he actually provides a service. You can look into him to get your searches up. The other thing that you can do is to run Google Ads. I'm not going to go into Google Ads. Again, it's resources everywhere. But these are all things that are what you call your funnel.
Also reach out to Michael Eaton too. Michael is
for design work on your website.
design on
Perfect.
your website and all that. Yeah, definitely.
He knows a lot about this marketing stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So
So
we
that's
got
the,
the
that's the
website
top
down.
of the funnel, right? So we're going to move
Yeah.
through the sales funnel, okay?
Yeah.
So we've got where people get in. And obviously there's more areas than this. Sometimes occasionally you'll pick one up from Facebook or Instagram. I mean, there's tons of places people will come in, but
Right.
I've kind of mentioned some of the big ones. They're going to come into that top of the funnel and start to scroll down, okay? More often than not, the first step they're going to take is to contact me to get more information. Here's where me and Michael Eaton, we really differ here, and a lot of marketing experts differ. There's kind of two camps. One is that you should get them on the phone to educate them, or you should have an automated process that educates them for you. I don't trust that one as much because I'm just not as confident in my ability to make videos and text and things that people will read because I don't know for a fact they're taking in my information.
Right.
Where at a conference I was at, it was put this way. Traditional marketing, your job isn't to make the sale. Your job is to convince people what the problem they're having is and why they want you in the first place. So many people nowadays think that they're so educated, and I get requests all the time. They're like, hey, I'm looking for a magician to do a 45-minute show that incorporates these 3 tricks in a way that gets my company laughing and then can do an award ceremony at the end. And I have to be like, what made you, like, how are you the expert in what a magician's going to do best
How did
for
you get to there?
Yeah, how did you get there? So my goal is to say, to make people so excited about the outcomes. They can see what they get out of me, but I don't want them to know how I do it because I want them to be encouraged to make that call. So they can see happy, smiling people who are having the time of their lives that are increasing the sales of their business or raising money for their nonprofit or making students sign up for their camp next year, okay? Outcome, outcome, outcome. wait, I would love to be doing more business. I would love happy employees. I would love to be a status symbol within my company. I would love for people to look to me as an expert. Cool. If you want those things, here's my number. Call me or fill out this form.
I think the biggest, one of the biggest things for that initial phone call is little tip: smile when you talk.
Smile when you talk.
It makes you sound more personable and
And
relatable.
excitable.
And yeah, that's just kind of a general tip.
By the way, if anybody is listening to this and they say, I'm not going to smile when I'm talking on the phone, that's ridiculous.
Try it.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Like good luck. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna cap yourself out. Like I just do
try
it.
it. Try it at least once. Second thing is, you should not be trying to sell yourself on this first phone call.
No, don't.
You need to provide value. Now, we're not going to get into a bunch of specifics. Just, we will say that because that's something like, if you wanted to reach out to one of us, we can help you with that. If you want to reach out to Michael or one of these other guys that can help you with the specifics on that.
Totally. And phones.
Brett was a course that you took.
Yeah, Brad Ross,
Ross,
Marketing Warriors or It Factor Live.
Or so
Barry Friedman
Barry,
is
yeah.
mine. Barry is the man, and out of respect for him, I'm not going to go into his processes.
Right.
You should really take his course.
Yeah.
I've changed a lot, and I have my own unique system now. But thanks to Barry, I wouldn't have had it without him. So really look into Barry Showbiz Blueprint. One thing I do want to say is this, and this is pretty much agreed upon in all fields that for people who sell service successfully. You should not get on the phone and talk about you. Okay?
Right.
And a lot of guys think you should get on the phone and talk about them. You don't want to do that either. You want to have an open dialogue to see which direction it goes. The first thing that most magicians do is they say, they'll give before they give their price on the phone, they're going to say, which I try not to even ever give my price on the phone. Occasionally, but that's rare. Somebody will get on the phone and they'll say, hey, we just saw your website. We're interested in getting more information. Oh, yeah, man, my show is amazing. I've worked for the President of the United States 3 times, and my show has more magic that is higher quality than anybody else in the whole entire East Coast. I'm going to break down and hit every single emotional aspect and make sure people are cheering and laughing and clapping the entire time. We're going to do levitations and appearances. And someone on the phone listening to that is like, okay.
You're like, all right, cool. Yeah.
Like, all right.
Awesome.
They think that's what they want to hear. That's another reason why it's so important that you get them on the phone, because this is the type of information that if somebody asks you the questions, they're going to lead you into talking about things they don't even want to hear. And I know it's counterintuitive, but the typical questions people are going to ask: how much do you charge? Are you available? What type of magic do you do? Or what's in your show? They think they want to ask those questions, but they really don't. Okay? Again, they're in the mindset of elimination. They're looking for what option they can eliminate. They want to get off the phone as quickly as possible to say they don't want to commit to spending dollars. They're like, man, I had this really cool idea, but I probably can't afford it, and it's probably not as cool as I think. It's the same thing like when you see a really awesome pair of shoes at the store. What's going to talk you out of buying it? Same thing with the packet trick. What you're looking for the limit. You're not looking for the sale. You're looking for the thing that makes you not buy it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
So when you get a client on the phone, it's important to ask them questions about them. Connect with them. Say, hey, what when looking for entertainment is most important to you? What are you guys looking to accomplish with this? What are your 3 biggest outcomes? What have you guys done in the past that worked really well? And what would you like to improve on? And now you're just getting a feel for what their event is. You're no longer a guy who provides a service that may not be a fit for them. You're no longer the guy that says, hey, I have a 30-minute show and a 15-minute show. You want an hour-long show? They're going to be like, oh, well, we want an hour. No thanks. Hang up. You're now the guy who is going to listen to their needs, process, and be the light in the world that says, hey, you don't have to eliminate me, because I'm going to be the one to eliminate myself if I don't feel this is a good fit for you, okay? I want to make sure that this is something that I can work with you on and assist you and advise you on. I'm going to tell you what I think would be the very best, and if at any point you decide that this isn't for you, let me know and I will do the same.
Yeah.
So people want their guard lowered. If you're coming from a place of servicing people and trying to help them, there's no way you can lose, okay? So that's what I should tell you about on this phone call that is super important. There's a million more things we can go into about that,
Yeah.
but just don't sell yourself so hard. I don't even talk about magic in my phone calls at all.
In the first phone call, no.
I don't mention magic. I don't even mention
You
what
just
I
say,
do.
hey, I've got some ideas for you.
Yeah, that's it. I got
And
some
I'll send
ideas
you
for
a couple things, and
Yeah,
they work, they don't. Let me know they don't, and I'll try to help you, figure it out from there.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't want it to seem like I need them. And in the case, I guess in a way, I don't have a job without them, right? I won't have food on the table or money in my pocket without them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I have to try and be desperate for every call. I want to be there as a service to really help people, and people can sense the sincerity in that, okay? So we've captured leads. We've moved them to get more information. And now this is why I always suggest doing a phone call. I really think a phone call is good. However, the millennial buyers are doing things more on text and email. I haven't really found the way to communicate my value as well on an email. I'm trying. I'm really trying. I haven't been there yet. Some guys really have done it. So
if you found some success in that area, let us know. Shoot us an email or shoot us, write a comment below this video. Let us know what's been working for you as far as digitally connecting with people
to get that same point across. Yeah. So
all right. So we've got the website, we've got the
initial
lead capture,
call.
we've got the call.
And here's where you're really going to floor them and set yourself apart. Okay. You want to communicate with them in a professional, timely manner that has shown that you've thought about the things that they want and that you are creating something custom for them. Nobody wants, imagine how cool it would be to have a smartphone that was built just for you, okay? They know how important camera taking is to me, so they gave me great cameras, okay? They know that I like a high resolution screen. Now, Samsung and Apple, they find ways around this by making people want all the same things. That's their game, is they want to create what's desirable and then tell you they have it. Whereas if somebody's coming to you and tells you what they want, and you're able to say, hey, I don't have that product, but I would love to create it for you and see what you think about it, okay? Nobody wants to say, hey, I'm going to create it to you and send it to you. It's going to be this much money. Because how do they know that you've built it successfully for them? So you've got to say, hey, I've got some ideas for you. What if I sent you an email that tells you what I'm going to put in my show that I think would get across exactly what you're looking for? I think that would be a really awesome way to approach it, to say, you're not going to talk magic in the first call. You're going to say, I have some ideas for you. I want to consider what you've told me. Think it over. The next email, now you can tell them what you do. And you're putting it in the scope of, based on what you're looking for, here's what I think would be a fit for you. Instead of you telling them without having any information about themselves, it seems like you're looking out for their best interests.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, based on you not wanting to make it as boring as last year and ensuring people don't stand up and leave during your presentation, I think you want to do something quick and visual, 10-minute bit. I'm going to do, I'll right there take the table that's on stage and levitate it over the crowd, and then I'll even teach everybody a trick in a really hilarious way that I think will get them up out of their seat and clapping unlike you've ever seen before. If you want to get more information, we can talk about this, but I think I'm ready to move forward. My pricing is whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. Another note in this specific part of the process that's good for providing value to the client is if they're putting, and this is specifically for the corporate environment, is you need to constantly be making connections with other vendors, right? So DJs, caterers, flower people, event planners, so that you can then tell the client, hey, listen, if you need some help, I don't know how far along in the process you are for designing this event, but if you need some help, I've got some connections in the area. Just let me know. I'd be more than happy to help out.
We missed this, and this goes with the Smile With You Speak. I tell Shane this all the time, and I tell everybody. I have little, I'm going to call them mentees, little people that I mentor and help them go full-time. And one thing I always tell them is the number one thing, the 6-figure secret, is to seem excited. When you get on the phone with them, you might do 100 universities, okay? But I got a call from a university recently, and all I did was tell them, oh my gosh, a Got Talent event? Hold on. Just give me a moment because I got to process it because that sounds so awesome.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to be there. I really do think this would be awesome, but let me make sure I'm right for you. Would you tell me a little bit about what you're doing? And I'm complimenting them along the way.
Yeah.
But what helps about me complimenting them is that when I give a critical, like some criticism and some ideas, they take it more seriously. Say, oh yeah, I love the idea that you're going to have a themed dinner before the show. That is so creative and cool. However, I just want to mention this. Have you thought about maybe not doing it as a buffet style? Because I think that's really going to take. So you need, and as you get more expertise, you'll learn where the problem areas for their event are. So you really can smooth out their whole event.
Yeah.
But you want to provide value for them before you're even making a sale. Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks it. What is it? It's the jab, 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 hook.
Right hook, yeah.
3 pieces of value for every ask. And I try to do the same thing. I try to compliment them on 3 things and tell them 3 things I think they're doing really well before I ask them to do something for me. And that could even be in the form of, for instance, I can give them 3 really cool creative tips to make their event better before I ask them to hire me.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you're providing value first.
So
Obviously, next step is do a great event. If you get hired, do a great event.
yeah. Oh
right?
well, the next
So-
step actually. There's a lot more before the booking, but pretty much it's all gonna be in this category of follow up.
Yeah.
Follow up. Follow up. Follow up. Follow up. Follow up. This can be in the terms of deal. I mean, you have to figure out what your brand is. It could be in deals and promotions. Okay, you can follow with deals and promotions. Give them an unresistible offer. They cannot resist. They have to act now. You can say, hey, I sent some information. Would love to follow up. Just see where you're at. Hey, I came across some other really cool forms of entertainment. I don't know if you're still interested in having me come out and do a magic show, but if you were thinking about maybe trying something else and going another direction, let me know. I'd love to recommend one of these really 3 cool performers I just found. Again, it makes you seem not desperate. It makes it seem like you're coming from a place of helping. You're going to follow up. Well, Barry, he gave me this really funny quote. He said, follow up. What did he say? It was like about following up even when they're in the grave. I can't
No
remember,
idea.
but he made a joke about how you follow up relentlessly. They either die or they disappear. Like one of those two. They either pass away. This isn't the quote, but they're either going to pass away or they're going to give you an answer. It's either going to be a
Yeah.
yes or a no, or they're going to pass away before they get back to you. Like
Right.
you need to follow up consciously. Continuously, nonstop. The other thing here now, so we talked about the initial for a new client. The most value is going to come from old clients. Like you need to spend time now that you have these relationships booking those old clients. One client can pay your yearly rate if you work with them enough. You know, every company that does a holiday party usually will be doing a trade show. We'll usually do a client appreciation. We'll usually do maybe a fundraiser or a nonprofit or a charity event. We'll usually do some sort of all hands meeting, which will usually do some sort of marketing campaign, which if you've done enough shows for them, they may let you write a commercial or an ad for them. Like you can seep into their company, and that one company can be your 6-figure deal that sets you up for the year. And now everything else is extra. So once you have a client, don't just focus on creating new opportunities for yourselves. Work with the people you already have trust and connection with. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that because I think it speaks for itself. Shane, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
To that?
Yeah.
No. So
Okay.
let's move into, let's just say you got booked for the show. Congratulations. You sent out everything. You did a great show. What is your system for following up after that?
So that
Just
lead,
a couple tips.
Yeah, that lead turned into a gig. Do an amazing event. Always try to get a review. This is going to be another topic. I know I say it all the time, but I cannot. It will take me an hour to tell you how I get reviews. I've got hundreds and hundreds of reviews online.
You speaking to anybody that's curious, that's like Google reviews and
Or written testimonials, or
written
Yelp
testimonials.
reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that's the thing that sucks nowadays with the internet is there's so many sites to leave reviews on that they're going to be all scattered. But Google does a good
Yeah.
job collecting all of them and leading links to them. But anyway, so get a review. I usually follow up 2 to 3 times without that, and then I try to make touch points throughout the year. You know, if they didn't hire you, by the way, this is still the sales process. If they didn't hire you, make sure to reach out and just ask them about, you know, how their event is going. Like, just you follow up with them in a nice and friendly way throughout the year, even if they're not your client. I think so many people write off people who didn't hire them and just say, forget about them. Still follow up with them, be top of mind the same way you would if somebody were to hire you, because you never know it's going to come their way.
Yeah.
So after the gig, it's just gentle follow-up. I try to turn them into fans and into friends. I'll try to send them my video content, my social media. I'll check in with them. I'll let them know something reminded me of them. Hey, I just passed a van that had your company logo on it. I did not know that you guys send technicians out to other locations. That is
Yeah.
so cool. Sweet. Like, hey, you were so good at running your event when I was there. I'm curious to know what other events have you put on in the past, because there's no way this was your first one. And now you're finding out which events you could reach out to for in the future. But you're
Yeah.
also sending a compliment. And don't be offended when people don't reach out to you on your follow-ups. The real goal is getting in their inbox and them seeing your name. That's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really think that I've covered all of it,
Yeah,
essentially.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good episode. A lot of useful tips in there for you guys. Hope you got some value out of it.
And which piece do you want to know more about? Which piece should me and
Yeah.
Shane dive into a lot deeper?
Yeah. All right.
Comment below. Let us know. And thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go pick up my car. I said that specifically because he hates when I talk about it.
All right. See ya.
See ya.